Hi everyone, I have a long overdue lure video that I'd like to make for you. I was trying to wait in order to show the two main types of lures, but I'm just going to focus on Charlie's lure for now. Don't mind the band-aid, hold on a second. So Charlie as a red-tailed hawk will typically hunt ground quarry. That means rabbits and squirrels, even though squirrels are kind of in the trees. And they can hunt other things as well, but for her, with that wonky leg and the strength of squirrels, I decided to focus on a rabbit lure. Now, is this a rabbit? No, it doesn't fully look like a rabbit. She knows it's not a rabbit, but it's a tool to train her to go to a prey that is on the ground. How we do this is, from previous videos, as you can tell, I have been training with Charlie to fly to the glove for food. She will go to food wherever the food is. I have the food, I've taught her that I have the food, so she comes to me, because she's used to me at this point. For lure training, and this isn't the best example, but there is a place to tie food right to the lure. For a rabbit, we'd want to tie it near the head because that would mean the most success at hunting a rabbit. The meat from these are typically then used for the bird, and it's formerly and currently sometimes used for humans. I would save the rabbit meat and feed it to her. So after training them to the glove, we would attach it to a lure. There's tons of different kinds of lures. A lot of them are made by hand. They might be made out of parts of an animal that were previously hunted. If you're training, another bird, squirrel lures, you can have a squirrel tail attached. You can use this depending on how you want to train your bird to hunt prey. Ground lures, I'm about to explain. There are also bird lures that are a completely different style of training and the way the bird flies to it. This I would throw to the ground as if it were a rabbit, and then this string has a crayons-like handle, although they don't have to, I would pull it across as if a rabbit were running through the field. For bird lures, it's a completely different thing. You teach them to take it in the air. But this, I want to get her attention in the same way that a rabbit running through the woods or field might, and get her used to going down and catching it. Now, yes, this is a behavior that animals have anyway, but it's teaching the bird more skills. And if you're keeping the bird for a long time, it's a way to exercise them and allow them to use these skills as they're meant to do. So I would attach food to this, drag it around. Sometimes I would make it a little hard for her to catch and purposely kind of get it out of her way. Eventually, I can take the food off of the lure and there's nothing on here. She would go down to it, grab it, and then I would offer her food from the glove. The same thing happens if it's prey. They take the prey, they're on the prey, you give them food on a glove, and they step to your glove because they're so used to that process. First they're flying to the glove, then they're flying to the lure and then stepping onto the glove. And eventually, even though there's a whole buffet of food when they catch a rabbit, because it's made of meat, they're still used to seeing the glove full of food and stepping up onto the glove. I would then take this or the prey out of sight so that she's not triggered to go ahead and attack it any longer. I have a second bag for the lure. So I'd hide it from her. Usually I can't really get away with a whole bunch of these in a row because the whole point is that she's going to have a ton of food. She is most likely to grab this lure because it means a ton of food. It's not just a little tidbit, it's a lot. So I have to play fair with my hawks. Lure means food, even if it's grabbing the lure then stepping onto the glove, but it's a big reward. This also helps us when we're out in the field if a bird's up in a tree and we throw the lure down, they're going to come down to it. Hopefully come down to it is the goal, right? So having it associated with large amounts of food and kind of like the last step in your training session or the last step in your hunting expedition is what we teach them. So we can't just, break that pattern or they're not gonna keep doing it. I have several videos where I have thrown the lure down at the end of the session. For some reason, Charlie likes to be just off camera when this happens, but I'll try to include some footage of her going to the lure. At first, I just set it down, basically. I have a special sound that I make when I'm throwing food to the ground, and that includes the lure. So I make a special sound, I toss it to the ground, and either let her grab it or I pull it out of her way and, as far as I can to make her chase it and go after it. And that's conditioning for her, stamina training, hunting training, and it's going to translate exactly to the wild. So this is just a, not great example, but it is a rabbit lure technically, but this is the one I'm currently using, and I will show you more in the future. Thanks for watching. So a bird of Charlie's size usually hunts ground. Oh boy. What else can I say about this? So Charlie, why is that going so dark? I decided to try and. What happened? There we go. My goodness.